So here we are in one of the greatest positions in the world on the Great Lakes. We've got a planning process that Mayor Barrett commissioned about 5 years ago. It's been completed. There's 13 area plans. Thousands of stakeholders were involved in this. And every square mile of the 97 square miles that we have in the city of Milwaukee is covered by one of these plans. mkedcd.org or milwaukee.gov. If you want to know what in your neighborhood or where you want to invest as developers, where the city wants to put its money, it's in the catalytic projects that are in those plans. We've got 97 square miles in the city of Milwaukee. We consider every acre of the city of Milwaukee valuable land for redevelopment because we can't expand. We can't annex. And as Mark indicated, the MSA is the larger economic unit. City's an artificial boundary, but you try and tell that to Wauwatosa if we wanted to annex them. All right, so we've got 97 square miles. That's our parameter and our perimeter, and that's where we're going to keep putting our energy and trying to make sure we're influencing every piece of that. We've got catalytic projects in the downtown plan revision. About 5 of those are carryovers from the 99 revision. 3 of them are brand new. We'll talk about those in a little bit of detail. Santiago Calatrava's first United States commission, a genius. But who was the architect of record? It was Kaler Slater. And Jill's here from Kaler Slater. You're going to hear from her later. The Milwaukee artistic community in engineering, architecture, and in construction. C.G. Schmidt, Grafe, hundreds of subcontractors literally made this building fly. And this is what we project to the rest of the world, that we can do it in skilled trades, we can do it in manufacturing. Look at this incredible site looking north along the lake. St. John's, under construction now, a beautiful new building. That's taken from the 13th story. 2 beautiful dorms at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee as they grow their campus. $500 million vote of confidence from one of the largest health service systems in southeastern Wisconsin, and they decided to lay their flag down where they were born, in the city of Milwaukee. $500 million for Columbia St. Mary's. Took the braces off of City Hall, took the braces off of Northwestern Mutual Life. 2 beautiful exterior renovations. U Club Tower, Kilbourne Tower, the existing Cut A, 875 East. Lot of office, lot of commercial space that's been built in the last 10 years. Now let's focus on the War Memorial, and we echo the remarks, obviously, for all those who served. We thank and honor you, and certainly this afternoon, a lot of ceremonies going on. This War Memorial is a 50-year-old building, Errol Sarandon Commission, with same commission as the St. Louis Arch. We've got that, the beautiful Calatrava, Discovery World, all of these incredible assets, Summerfest, which continues to expand, is now going into its renovation in the south grounds, and yet we have this cacophony, this disconnect at this area. We've got to clean this area up. This is nonsensical. You come off the Hone Bridge and you see snow fence. We've got to be able to figure out how we draw all of these assets together. So we've got a lakefront gateway catalytic project is called out for in the plan, and O'Donnell Park plays a role in that. The county cannot be premature on O'Donnell Park. We need to have the stakeholders together in a room, and we've already been in a room because we had them together for the downtown plan. We need to expand that to figure out what's the best use of O'Donnell Park. We need a parking asset there, but we don't need a building there. We need some way to transcend beautifully from Wisconsin Avenue down to Lincoln Memorial Drive and all of these great assets. That is also part of this Lakeway Gatefront. Wisconsin Avenue strategy. Great buildings, but we've got some issues. Everybody knows we have issues with the Grand Avenue. We had issues with this building. Jill took care of that too, okay? The ASQ Center and Jill, Kaler Slater's headquarters at the top. Beautiful, beautiful building renovation. How are we going to do this? We have to start treating Wisconsin Avenue not as it's the Grand Avenue or it's 4th and Wisconsin. Wisconsin Avenue goes from Lake Michigan west to Story Hill, and we've got to start thinking about it that way. It's one integrated main street, and it's got some incredible assets on it, and it's got some challenges, but we're up to those challenges. The Grand Avenue has to be dealt with. And in terms of your survey, Jim, we agree. We're not buying the Grand Avenue. We have no intention of touching the Grand Avenue. We've sunk $40 million into the Grand Avenue. The market's going to have to step up. We're going to work with the market. We're working with current ownership right now. But a regional mall is not going to survive there. So what we have to have is retail on the first floor facing Wisconsin Avenue. We're willing to put money into that. Repurpose the balance of it. Could be office, could be university, could be any number of things. So the Grand Avenue is going to be something we have to work on. The Station Gateway Plaza, we took this carpeted sewer, which was the entrance to our city. We turned it into this with an Epstein-Ewen commission and $6.2 million of help from the city's taxpayers. It is now the front of the intermodal facility. We're calling for a Station Gateway Plaza on St. Paul to tie that to all of the land that's been made available by the DOT after we just rebuilt $800 million market interchange, another grand step forward in the last 10 years. This is where the streetcar is going to land. The streetcar is in design right now. There will be a streetcar. That's its route. And it's going to connect folks to work. It's going to connect folks to parking assets. It's going to connect folks to recreational assets. Those are potential extensions on that map of where we can go next with that streetcar route. The bus system, equally important. We've got to stop cutting routes. We've got to start adding routes. And we have to add bus rapid transit, all intersecting there. Kilbourne, we need to blow up MacArthur Square big time. We've got this beautiful county building surrounded by these neo-fascist buildings. You'd think you were in Berlin just before World War II. It's crazy. It's crazy. We need to do something special here. We need to blow up our parking lot and make a bigger parking lot so that we can assist the convention center, the Bradley Center, and our stop along the streetcar route. Take this basically in crazy space that has beautiful sights and turn it into this larger Kilbourne Avenue, an extension of what should be one of our most special streets. Turn it back into the boulevard it was designed to be, with the lakefront at one end, the county courthouse, the other termination, and in the middle, that grand dame of building City Hall. It is a gorgeous presence. We need to work on this. Broadway, we need a transition, a land bridge into the 3rd Ward. This can happen. We need to protect the Mitchell, Mackey, and Loyalty buildings, 3 of the most significant historical buildings in the United States. They're in one cluster and they're here. Throw David's building in just up the street, the McKeel, what a cluster. And Brengel is right down the road as well. So we've got a 21st century technology building. We've got to bring this together, and this is a catalytic project that can do that. Père Marquette Square, another underutilized space. We need to activate this. We need to build around it, not on the park. The park needs to become a better park asset. It's heavily used now, but not as heavily as it could be all times of the year. This will unite together the assets at the Marcus Center for the Performing Arts, the Milwaukee Center, we've got U.S. Cellular Arena, Bradley Center. And talking about the Bradley Center must remain downtown. If there's a replacement for the Bradley Center, it has to be downtown. It cannot be at the stadium. It cannot be anywhere else. We cannot support 2 downtowns. And we called on, and we still call on, the forces that own that land in front of the Bradley Center, just set it aside. Just say that if there's going to be a new arena, it's right north of the Bradley Center. Why should we have to pay to take down buildings at a future date? More on that later. All right, let's go to the Park East. Something substantial. We took this thing down. I mean, that's a major accomplishment. We put a 64-acre land use plan in there. And all this development has occurred in the Park East TID. $500 million worth of development. The 14 acres that are in the middle, I have a suggestion. Milwaukee County has not been able to move it. Part of the reason, it's nothing against Milwaukee County, we have the infrastructure at the Department of City Development to do this. Everything I'm showing you was plans executed by DCD working with all of you in the room. Let us be the agent for the county or sell us the damn land. We've got to move this because we've got $21 million of City of Milwaukee taxpayer dollars invested in this infrastructure. We did our part. MSOE has done its part. They've just announced a beautiful new parking garage that's going to have a soccer stadium. This is going to be an Eline Wilson commission. Just exciting. The current center, the first building in the Park East. We invested $25 million to bring manpower downtown. That was a huge investment, but it was worth every dollar of it. You've got what Barry Mandel's planned on the north end. That will be finished in the next 10 years. It's a very, very exhaustive and expansive plan, but it can be done. There's the down payment. It's called the One. That's first phase. Flatiron was completed on the only piece of land the city owned in the Park East. 8 proposals, 7 of them were worthy of outstanding awards. This got built and it's occupied. If you look at the Aloft, another success story with the Riverwalk that we supported. The Modern will break ground literally in weeks. This is a huge success story. It's going to be on the west side of the river. The brewery, unbelievable, 21-acre new neighborhood in downtown Milwaukee. People are living here. People are working here. There's education occurring here. It's adjacent to cultural assets, adjacent to other educational assets. It's sustainable. If they built their own parking garage, best places open as a new tourist center. There's a roundabout. Thank you to Joe Zilber, God bless his soul, for what he did working with the city of Milwaukee, and $29 million of taxpayer dollars. Bronzeville, we've got 6th and North under construction, the Inner City Arts Council, and we're working, Taylor Slater's got a design going at the 7th and North spot. More about that upcoming. Beer Line, this is what can be done when you put your mind down to something, you have a plan, and you execute on that plan. This garbage was turned into $200 million of taxable base by you, by the developers in the room, by the folks that bought into those condominiums, by the folks that hustled and said this is worthy of doing it. There's the Riverwalk before. Here's the Riverwalk afterwards. Look at what's been built on the river. It's tremendous. Into the 3rd Ward, Milwaukee Public Market. Every great city's got a great public market. We've got one. Peter Renner's buildings on the river. Barry Mandel's Marine Terminal Lofts. The Point on the river. All of this is housing. 20-year anniversary of the ADA. This is Independence First, and the mayor celebrating that on the Riverwalk. All new ADA improvements, $34 million invested. It's leveraged millions of dollars. It was a huge success. Why? Somebody had vision. The city put a plan together. We funded the plan, and then we got the hell out of the way and let the private sector do what you do best. Maximize return on investment. This is huge. Lots of things going on the river. Another beautiful, this is Cathedral Square, Milwaukee 7. The next 10 years, you're going to hear a whole hell of a lot about the Milwaukee 7 because we've been very, very successful. And the mayor is one of the co-founders. And he doesn't follow the lipstick on the pig piece. He believed in this, he followed it, and it's created thousands of jobs already, and it's going to create thousands more before it's over. We're going to concentrate on these segments. Menominee Valley, 50,000 jobs at one point. Most of them left. 4,000 coming back since Tom Barrett's been mayor. John Norquist put the bridge in. Infrastructure is architecture. Go into the valley. We're in the valley. This is a beautiful place. We've got the Harley-Davidson Museum, Potawatomi, where we are, Miller Park, Menominee Valley Industrial Center, 134 acres of blight. We took it down. Look what's in there now. We got Badger Railing, Caleffi, Dursey, Taylor, Charter Wire, Palermo's. Before we even finished with the park, Palermo's Addition, they got 500 people working there. Mayor just announced Ingateam. They're under construction, bottom right. And I wasn't here last year because I was on the top left in Spain recruiting this company with the Milwaukee 7. It wouldn't have happened without the Milwaukee 7. All kinds of great things in the valley. Valley Passage just opened, one of 3 bridges that will go over the Menominee River. People will be able to walk to work like they used to. You can bike on this. The Hank Aaron Trail goes from Lakeshore State Park all the way west of the VA grounds. Lots of people love the valley. The City Lights, Frank Giffrey's property, we worked with him on a TID. Zimmerman is moving into this building that they're adaptively reusing. All of this land on the map, we either own as the city of Milwaukee or we now have development agreements with those owners. We're making a 250-acre campus for development of water-related resources and companies that go from the Reed Street Yards all the way back to Giffrey's property. This is the UWM School of Freshwater Sciences on Greenfield. It's going to be a huge magnet for development in the 3rd Ward and the 5th Ward. It's going to drag development down there. This is Lake Express, another great addition in the last 10 years. This, which we describe as post-apocalyptic, and that's why, because that's what we took. We took 150 acres, and we're going to turn it into the same thing we did in the valley. And if you have any doubt, we've done it already. We converted a 300,000 square foot facility. Survey says trains are in question. The survey that counts is, what's the rest of the world doing? The rest of the world is moving by rail. This isn't about going to Madison, Wisconsin. This is about getting to the largest economic engine in the Midwest, which is Chicago, Illinois, connecting it to the 2nd largest economic engine in the Midwest, which is the Twin Cities. And who's going to benefit? Milwaukee and Madison. We're fools if we don't move this forward. More on that later. All right, Marquette University doing their part. Eckstein Hall, the new law school. Zilber, they're building their engineering school. And I might add, in the city of Milwaukee. Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee, not Wisconsin Avenue in Wauwatosa. More on that later. Marquette's done a lot over the years, $500 million in the last 10. We built over 1,000 new units of housing in the city of Milwaukee in the last decade. We've got 250 single-family home sites ready when the market absorbs the foreclosures. Yes, that's a challenge. Market will absorb the condominiums. We will be ready when the market is ready to accept this type of new build. We're there, we're ready. We're going to get the demographic coming out of the downtown. The mayor and county executive Walker committed to 1,000 units of housing for those who are the most unfortunate in our society, special needs. We're 333 units towards that 1,000 in a third of the time we thought it would take. Here's some of them right here. We're working very aggressively with Milwaukee County on that. This garbage at the Housing Authority, we blew it up. And we redid 3,000 units in this city. We have the pride of the United States in terms of our public housing. Tom's going to talk about the Aerotropolis. Sustainability is huge moving forward. We've got the prophet amongst us, Will Allen. He's going to turn dirt into a new economy, an agrarian economy within the city. We're going to give him a lot of vacant lots to do that on. We're also working with him at 55th and Silver Spring on a 5-story greenhouse model. We're turning in Sweetwater Organics in Bayview, turning old factory space into the production of fish. This is aquaculture. This is the future for us. Boy, that was quick. That was a hell of a ride, wasn't it? 10 years of incredible things happening.